Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video we're hopping into the Brawl vs BigMom, the 40 stamina event, or the 9-star event that is on Optc Global at the moment, the parallel to the Kaido. And if you guys haven't seen that, I'll leave a little card up the top for you guys to check out the Kaido teams. But in this video, just like Kaido, I do have 5 teams for you guys. Now the drops are actually pretty damn good. Like if you need rumble scrolls or manuals, like I know it's a low rate, but I mean, if you're farming this anyway, like there's a good chance that you could pick some of these items up. Plus, there are limit break materials. So for all you people that hate doing treasure map, this is a very good time to get them. But in my opinion, this is just a way worse way of getting limit break materials. But look, that's just me. For all you grinders out there, there's some good rewards. So pick them up while you can. But let's have a look at the team. So the first team is that big Quailen team, just like on the Kaido video, but it's basically the exact same team. We just literally swapped BigMom for Kaido. Like that's all we've done. If you can find a spot for King on this team, like probably replace the Nami and Shinobu. She's pretty like useless on this team. That way you just get more points. It's just easier if you get the Queen stage, the Jack stage and the Queen stage actually. But unfortunately, your boy Stumped, he don't have King, so it's kind of like a bit of a rip for me. But it is what it is. He is the best of the batch too, which just hurts my soul a little bit. But if you can find a spot for these particular characters, Jack, King, and Queen I'm talking about, you do want to try and split them into any team that you can, just to get as many points as you possibly can. Or you want to just build up your multiplier. Try and do these free-to-play units. The Otama's quite good. She's really, really good for the final stage for both events. And the Nami and Shinobu is actually really, really good too. She removes Bind and Despair, which is essential for Jack stage. But again, she's super replaceable too. So like, you don't have her on the team, like don't even worry about it too much. But this is the first team, the Wayland team. We have Kaido as our leader, 2.5 times orb, 2.25 attack, very, very good as you can't use an orb boost on the final stage, 5 times captain, and super end of turn damage. You guys know the drill with Kaido. This Otama, again, free to play, make sure you pick her up. Very, very good unit, as well as being essential for that last stage. She's just very, very good. Color affinity, removes threshold, gives a full board of recovery orbs, as we do get unfavorable orbs as well. Queen, 3 times chain locker. Excellent rare recruit, can remove defense up and damage reduction by 5 turns, as well as that chain lock, which is great, which is actually really, really handy for the BigMom stage because we can only tap with 3 units, so that's very, very essential. And then finally we have Jack. Jack can remove bind and attack down, which is just absolutely god for either the Jack stage itself or the Queen stage to remove bind and attack down. So this team works very, very well. There's not really much to talk about. The supports just honestly use stat boosters. You don't even need that Hachan. I don't think I used the Onami special once, so look, it is what it is. But if you guys are missing Kaido, you can run a hybrid Kaido team. So this particular team is very similar to the Kaido team I had in the BigMom video. The Kaido video, but like, yeah, you know what I mean. But the big difference is I put Bonnie on this team just so we start with a full board of recovery orbs. Mainly because we want to build up that verse meter very, very quickly, as we are using a friend verse Kaido. Subermask is here to give us a full board of tandem orbs, as well as give us a 2.5 times attack boost. Jewelry Bond is here to remove the threshold. She's very, very good, as well as give those recovery orbs. Page 1 is amazing, as he can remove attack down, as well as give us special charge, which is almost vital, especially for Bonnie. And then finally we have BigMom. Now BigMom you can swap on this team. Honestly, like, I don't really use her too much. I just want to put a chain lock, and then I actually didn't even get a chain lock with her. So you can probably take her out, to be honest, and honestly probably just put on someone like Garp. Just anyone that does like a solid chain lock that's a powerhouse or striker. You can even use VV Rebecca, to be like honest. Get that 2.5 times chain lock, and that'll work great. As long as you can get some sort of chain lock at the end, it's just you're gonna find it a lot easier, because unfortunately you can't stack Kaido's end of turn damage with verse Kaido's end of turn damage. It just doesn't work, unfortunately. That little verse symbol just means that it can't be removed, not that it's a different buff. So me being a spoon thought you could actually do that, but it is what it is. So one of the other teams that we have is our Shanks Crew team. Now with this team, I'm using a verse BigMom friend. I wanted to feature her in the video somehow, as well as try and show off as many points as possible. But like I said at the start, if you can fit King, Queen, or Jack on any of these teams, try and squeeze them in somewhere. For this setup, I am using the Onami Shinobu and the Otama once again. We have Luffy Sanji. They're great as our attack booster. They can give us a full board of recovery orbs on the final stage as well. Because BigMom makes them matching, it's very, very strong. Then we can use Sengoku to remove attack down. He also removes bind, and he can remove special bind as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't have special bind himself, which is a bit of a rip. But because we are using Shanks as our captain, we can get the orb buff from the Cerebral captain with the Sengoku special. And with Shanks' captain ability, we can remove the special bind that way. So this team actually works very, very well. Has no issues whatsoever. But like I said, like I would chuck Queen in the spot of Sengoku if you do have that, or if you do have like Jack, I would take off what's her name, Nami and Shinobu as well. So again, this team worked extremely well. Without normal attacks only, like Shanks Crew really shines because you can actually get that end of turn damage as well. The next team is the Roden team. You know you love it. You know it's around, and you know it's going to keep on turning up for a very long time because it's very, very strong. We basically just fill the rest of the team out with free-to-play units. We've got Roger as our captain, Oden as our sub, 5 times captain with a 3 times attack boost, ignores like all defenses with 1,000,000 damage, and just Roger's absolute god. You guys know how amazing this unit is. Honestly, after using BigMom for a very, very long time, I still prefer to use Roger. But that's just me. Well, I did not mean to do that. Let's go back to our Roger team, please. Oden as a sub, obviously on a Roger team, giving the Wana orbs, as well as the 2.5 times orb boost to slashes, free spirits, and strength units is very, very strong. The super typing of Roger just makes that incredibly easy. I don't have to ramble on about Roden. You guys know how good Roden is. But for the rest of the team, we have Nami and Shinobu again. We have Otama once again. And then we have this carrot. Now, this carrot is pretty much replaceable with any other unit. I sort of just bring her because she had the chain buff, but my captain's not a strength of int, so I don't get that, unfortunately. So she is quite good, though, because you can use this Pedro support. This Pedro support's pretty good because you can remove attack down if you actually get that. That's something to note. But you could also just replace carrot with an actual attack down remover or a special bind remover. It's totally up to you guys, really. I am using Crocus support, though, in case you get the King stage. That way you can remove 2 turns of burn, but it's not essential whatsoever, as this team it has a lot of damage. The final team is a Sweet Generals team. So Sweet Generals actually worked fairly well. It does struggle with the King stage, unfortunately, as you do lose the chain lock with BigMom. BigMom's on this team because you want to try and get the super typing of the Sweet Generals somehow. But with this team, you can actually run the Oro Jackson, which is pretty funky. So then that way you can actually make recovery orbs matching, and then when Otama gives you a full board of recovery orbs at the end, you can actually make them matching, which is great. This Boa, very, very good. She can remove special bind and attack down, so she's good for 2 different stages, the Queen and the Jack stage. Unfortunately, there's just so much going on in that 4th stage. So many different things you have to try and get around, and unless you're running the new batch, it's very hard to just take it all out. So this team sort of focuses on all of it besides the burn. But if you do get burnt, it's going to be a little bit trickier. To be honest, you do really want to make sure you have your versatility. Alright, but that's going to do it for the teams. Let's hop into the runs. Alright, so team number 1 is the Double Kaido team. Now, I made a few changes to this team compared to the actual Kaido video. What I've done is I've actually put Jewelry Bonnie on this particular team, and I have replaced Hody with BigMom. Now, the big reasons that I've actually done that is because at the beginning of the quest, with Jewelry Bonnie, she gives you a full board of recovery orbs, which is really, really handy, as you can actually turn all of them into verse meter for Kaido, which is great. And she can still remove the threshold on the final stage. So once we get to stage 4, we come up against Queen. Now Queen, well, it's either King, Queen, or Jack. For this particular run, we actually managed to get Queen. But with Queen, we're basically just going to stall our way through. Unfortunately, Queen's going to roll our specials back, which is a little bit frustrating, but it's really not the end of the world. We just basically want to make sure that we can get our Jewelry Bonnie special by the final turn. So once we get to BigMom, we are going to have to stall a turn, as Queen, because she rolls our specials, or because Queen rolls our specials back, we do have to stall that 1 extra turn, which is a little bit frustrating for this particular team. But BigMom can't really do too much damage to us, and she doesn't really do too much else. So what we can do after we've got the 2 turns left on our Jewelry Bonnie, we can use our Sobermask special to get a 2.5 times attack boost. We can use our... Oh, actually, I might need to stall 1 more turn here. I'm just looking at this now, and I'm thinking that I might need to stall an extra turn. I'm actually going to do that, because we can't stack the verse ability with the end of turn damage from Kaido, I do need to be very mindful about how much damage I can do. You only have 3 taps. So because we only have 3 taps, it does make it a little bit finicky when it comes to damage. Now, unfortunately for me, I did use the Sobermask special on that previous turn. So we aren't going to have heaps and heaps of damage. But we will still have the special, well, the 2.25 times attack boost from our Kaido. So with all our HP cuts, with all our shenanigans, with all of our verse abilities, with all of our chain locks, well, we don't have a chain lock actually because BigMom's just trash, to be honest. Could have switched actually there to actually get an orb boost. That probably would have been more beneficial. But after that, like, we only get 3 taps. Oh no, we can stall out the 3 taps apparently. Okay. Well, that was super scuffed, but it works. So, there you guys go. That was the Kaido team. I definitely would not recommend this team. It does function a lot better if you don't get the Queen interrupt. If you get Jack or King, it works a lot better. Alright, so on to the next team now. We're using this Sweet Generals and a Verse Kaido hybrid team. But this team will work if you have someone like Bullet or even Snake Man or anyone like that. Any of the red super typings, even Oden, to be honest. Any of the red super typings should work fine. Now, on stage 4, we come up against Jack, Queen, or King. Now, this team is best designed to take on Queen, actually. If you get King, this team can struggle. It's still doable, but it can struggle. And against Jack, it just takes a little bit of time. So, if you do come up against Jack, like we have here, you sort of just want to, like, eat your meat orbs, hit your T&D orbs, anything like that, just sort of to make your way through the content. And then once you get down to 1 turn of Special Blind, we can actually move on. Now, before we move on, though, we are going to use the special of our Kaido. The big reason that we want to use the special of Kaido is so that we can actually get the carryover orb effect. Ideally, you don't want to drop below 50% HP, and that's sort of why this team struggles a lot. Mainly because if you drop below 50% HP, you sort of lose that chain lock from BigMom. BigMom's big role here is just to sort of trigger the super typing of the Sweet Generals, but getting that 3.5 turns chain lock is super handy on the final stage against BigMom, as she only allows us to attack with 3 characters. So moving into the final stage, coming up against BigMom, she is a dex unit, which means strength units are strong. Obviously bringing the new Kaido is the way to go, but she gives you 5 turns of chain coefficient reduction and then has 5 turns of threshold. So this is where we can use the special of our Utama. She's going to remove the threshold, and she's going to give us a full board of recovery orbs. Then we can use our Sweet General special. That's going to give us an attack boost, a additional chain buff, and a color affinity. Okay, no, Utama gave us the color affinity boost apparently. Probably use the Sweet General specials first. That way you can actually guarantee yourself a higher color affinity booster. Then we can finish it off with BigMom. That way we can get a chain lock. And if we use the Nami and what's her name special, Shinobu, we can get the carryover of the color affinity for the next stage if we need it. And with that, we are just going to focus all of our taps with our strength units, and we can just say goodbye to our girl BigMom. See you later. So like I said, this team works the best if you don't come up against King, but it can still do it. Again, not the most optimal team, but can still get you the most amount of points if you don't have BigMom versus Kaido. Onto the Roden team now. So on the Roden team, once again, honestly, Roden actually did it like the most comfortable, in my opinion, out of like all of the teams that I used. Obviously, it's not the highest point booster, but stalling on the earlier stages with this team is just so much easier, and getting your specials is just so much. It's way more reliable, I would say, than most of the other teams. But unfortunately, without the rare recruits, obviously, just looking at the free-to-play side, it does struggle with points. That's the big downside to this particular team. So on stage 4 against King, Queen, or Jack, whichever one you guys get, fortunately, you will need to basically stall out most of the defects. Now, I do have the support of Pedro on my carrot just to remove attack down, but I guess you could replace this carrot with like anyone that does like special bind or attack down or anything like that. But we also have the liberal hind for cooldowns as well, but it didn't really matter too much. So once we've sort of stalled all of that stuff out, we can use our Roger super typing, and then we can just basically use the Roden Wombo combo that is the amazingness of the Wano orbs, the 3 times chain lock, and the 3 times orb boost. And we do have the support of Crocus as well, basically just in case we need to remove some burn from King, but it doesn't matter too much. On to the final stage now. We do have the carryover effect of the orbs from Oden, which is great. And BigMom is a dex unit, which means that Oden, he gonna be hitting real damn hard. So what we're gonna do on this particular stage, we are going to use the special of our Roger. You could even just like use Oden as your captain and then bring like Roger as a sub. That way you can actually get the super typing as well, which probably do way more damage. But with the Otama special, we can remove the threshold. And then with our carrot special, we can actually get a chain buff, which is super handy. Where's the chain buff? Do we not get the chain buff? I guess we don't get chain buff. I think maybe our captain has to be strength for the chain buff. But remember, we do only get 3 taps. That is very important. So make sure that you just hit with your Roger last. Your Oden last, and everything will be hunky-dory. So there you go. That was the Roden team. Just does it very well, to be honest. Very well. You can probably bring... Actually, now I'm looking at it. You can probably bring, like, BigMom as your friend captain. And that could, like, get you more points. So moving on now, we're using my boy Shanks Crew, but we're bringing a friend BigMom. I sort of just wanted to try and maximize the amount of like tickets that you guys can get. Now this is like the perfect setup for this particular team. This particular team, if you are missing, if you say you didn't summon at all for whatever reason on Kaido BigMom's banners, this particular team actually works incredibly well. So we actually managed to get Jack, which is great because we can remove the bind with the support of Rayleigh, and then special bind removal with Shanks is really easy. And then we can use our Sengoku special for an orb buff. Now Sengoku's here to remove attack down. You can replace him literally with any other unit to remove attack down. He's literally just the best one. I actually totally forgot to use BigMom's special here, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. So I guess we'll sort of just see how we go. You do want to use the BigMom special there, mainly because that way you get the orb boost on the next stage, right? But on the next stage, we come up against BigMom. She is going to have 5 turns of threshold, and we can only use 3 taps. So having the chain lock of Shanks is absolutely god tier. But what we can do here is we can use the special of Luffy Sanji. They're going to give us a 2.5 times attack boost, which is very good. Then we can use our Otama special to remove the threshold. Excellent. And get a color affinity to our strength and our int units. And then we can just get a HP cut with our BigMom. Unfortunately, I was meant to use her on the turn before, but look, it is what it is. After that, we are just going to tap with our BigMom. We are going to tap with our strength units, and see ya later. So that was Shanks Crew, always getting it done. You know me, always clapping stuff with Shanks Crew. Let's move on to the Wayland team now. And for the final team, we're using the big Wayland team, and basically it's just full of point boosters. If you guys have King, obviously find a spot for King on this particular team. Probably just replace Onami and Shinobu. Like, that should work absolutely fine. I don't see it really being that big of an issue. On stage 4, as you guys know, we come up against King, Queen, or Jack. For this particular team, it doesn't really matter which one you come up against. The rare recruits of King, Queen, and Jack themselves are literally just built to take down this particular stage. So it doesn't really matter which one you actually get. I actually just used the wrong special though, so one sec. And we're back. So we need to use the Jack special, not the Queen special. Jack's the one that removes the attack down. My bad. So once we've removed the attack down, we have an orb boost. We can use Kaido special for an attack boost. We do need to be quite careful with hitting our perfects though, as this team has actually got a lot of damage. As we do have an... Okay, as you can see, like... we can't even get the carry of orb buff, which is just wild. It's actually just insane. But it's not going to matter that much. Let's be real. Like, with Verse Kaido and his end of turn damage, like, it's going to be easy clap. So on the final stage against BigMom, she does 3 turns of chain coefficient reduction, so that's where the Queen special is great, because Queen can give us a 3 times chain lock. We can use the Otama special to give us a full board of recovery orbs and remove the threshold, and then we can actually finish it off with our Kaido special. Kaido is going to turn all those recovery orbs into T&D orbs, and then once we use his Verse ability, we've got all that end of turn damage to just literally just clap BigMom into oblivion. So who do we want to attack? Let's just attack with Jack, and then just let Kaido just go. Yeah, like, it's just... The amount of damage Kaido has for this particular piece of content is just, it's actually wild. So there you guys go. There were the teams against the Brawl against BigMom. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that big red subscribe button as well. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Late!